श्री आनंदमयी मात की जय. Do you know what real worship is? The expression of man's love of God. When something is boiled in a closed vessel, there comes a stage when the vapor will push up the lid, and unless force is used, the vessel cannot be kept covered anymore. In a similar manner, when while being engaged in japa or some other spiritual exercise, a wave of ecstatic emotion surges up from within, it becomes difficult to check it. This ecstatic emotion is called Bhava. It emerges from deep within and expresses itself outwardly. At first, it arises only for brief spells, but by spiritual practices, it is gradually strengthened. For Mahabhav, the supreme source of divine love and inspiration is present in every human being, and given the opportunity, it functions freely and spontaneously. In the measure as the state of divine love becomes more constant, the aspirant is vouchsafed a glimpse of his beloved. Religious practices carried out mechanically without deep emotion are like artificial flowers, very beautiful to look at, but devoid of perfume. Kirtan may be performed in great style, the hall almost breaking with the throng of the congregation. But if the singing is without deep feeling, bhav, there will be no response from on high. The deity answers only to the call of the heart. Therefore, it is imperative to be ever vigilant and make sure that outer observances go hand in hand with single-mindedness and purity of aspiration. Fire kept ablaze with plenty of fuel is bound to shoot up to great heights. You often declare that the ego is the root of all evil. In actual fact, however, this is not so. The sense of I implies willpower and self-exertion. While the ego is the cause of birth and death, it also helps towards liberation. The development of the ego and of the spirit of independence has made the individual feel cut off from God. To uproot this sense of separateness, the use of willpower is indispensable. The man who has merged his ego in the divine or surrendered it completely to God Almighty, the Lord of the universe, may depend on the working of providence. But a person with a strong sense of self-reliance, who feels that he is the doer, must exert himself in everything he undertakes. So long as intelligence rules man's life, it means that the ego still exists and that he is responsible for his actions and their results. Resign yourself entirely to him, or else be intensely absorbed in self-inquiry. Although karma may still have to be worked out, by and by the perplexities and problems of the ego will diminish and finally fade away. Although God is ever present within as well as without, it is necessary to keep his remembrance awake in all one's thoughts and actions. For the tendencies, sanskaras acquired in countless former births bind man with such force that the quest of God does not come to him easily. Nevertheless, Even wet wood is dried by the heat of fire and finally absorbed by it. Similarly, will one's interest in the objects of sense dwindle more and more by the power of intense contemplation of God until a glimpse of Him who is all bliss gladdens the heart. Thus, along with your worldly pursuits, always try to give at least some thought to Him. I do not ask anyone to leave his family in order to meditate in the jungles. What this body requests of you all is to live your family life according to dharma. Just as a treasury without treasure has no value, equally worthless is human life devoid of religion, dharma. शिष्यानंदमयी मात की जय।